Hello everyone. Today we'll explore the question, does a positive relationship exist between GDP and food waste? My name's Lily Rush.
I'm Pooja Chawla.
And I'm Aniket Desiko.
And our team analyzed international data to identify whether wealthier nations with higher GDPs tend to generate more food waste. Our study begins with a simple premise. Wealthier regions with higher GDPs often exhibit greater urbanization, increased food access, and disposable income. This economic dynamic contributes to higher consumption rates and, as a consequence, more food waste. To test this, we hypothesized the alternative hypothesis, the regression slope between GDP and food waste is greater than zero, indicating a positive relationship, with our null hypothesis being the regression slope is less than or equal to zero, indicating no relationship or even a negative one. Now let's look at the methodology we used to investigate this. Our project outline is GDP distribution, food waste distribution, linear model of food waste and GDP, our validation process, and then our conclusion.
Okay, now let's look into our relationship validation process. So to start off on our relationship validation, we first map the GDP and food waste per country individually. These histograms provide insight into the data distribution. This map on the slide shows GDP per capita for each country, with the darker blue representing countries with the higher GDP, while the lighter blue represents countries with the lower GDPs. We can see here that Singapore, Qatar, and Ireland have some of the highest GDPs in the world. This next graph shows the total organic waste generated by each country. We can see here that China is a clear outlier due to their high population and mass production. But looking between both graphs, we can see that many of the higher GDP countries have higher food waste.
So here we graphed organic waste in tons in the percentage of it, as well as the GDP per capita. And simply looking at this graph, no clear trends are visible. However, the next couple of graphs will help us determine if any at all trends are there. So as mentioned earlier, we did create a linear model, but it did not make any sense to us to present you the findings without validating the process to begin with. So here we have the predictions versus residuals along an intercept line of 0. And as you can see, the amount of outliers on both sides are even and are not skewed to one or the other side, indicating that there is little to no bias present in this simulation. Next, we have the predicted percentages graphed against the actual food and organic waste percentages, and these predicted percentages came from our linear model. Now, once again, along this line with a slope of 1, which is chosen because we want the predicted percentages to be as close to these actual food and organic waste percentages as possible, we have a similar amount of outliers on, once again, both sides of the line, validating but not proving our original hypothesis. And now finally, we have a QQ plot of the theoretical versus actual points. Now on the front and back side of this plot, there are outliers, but that is extremely normal for any QQ plot. What matters the most is the inner part of the line. And as you can see, most of the points fall along the line or extremely close to it, once again, validating but not proving our original hypothesis.
Our analysis shows that countries with higher GDPs tend to generate more food waste, and the relationship is statistically significant. The p-value strongly supports rejecting the null hypothesis with a significance level at 0.05. This result highlights the environmental challenges associated with wealthier nations and underscores the importance of sustainable practices in production, consumption, and waste management.
So with these results, we can further understand the economic development that drives food waste, and we can also look into policies and growth. So for the economic development that drives food waste, we can see that high GDP countries can often overproduce goods and create excess consumption, which can lead to an increase in food waste. Now looking at policies, tracking GDP versus food waste can help policymakers measure whether growth is sustainable. To promote change, high GDP regions can adopt circular economic models where food waste is minimized and byproducts are reused.
Thank you.
Thank you.